Hey, what's up YouTube? Speed Cube for Life here. I've been sick for the past 4 or 5 days, so if you hear it in my voice, and that's what it is. I have an ear infection, a sore throat, and whatnot. But anyways, in this video, I had a request to make an advanced F2L tutorial video, and that's exactly what this video is going to be. This won't be your typical tutorial type of video because with F2L, I like to do intuitive F2L over algorithmic F2L. I believe it's easier to learn, and you'll get faster quicker than if you do algorithmic F2L. So it won't be the kind of tutorial where I show you a case and tell you an algorithm. It'll be I show you a case and then give you a few rules of thumbs or things to think about when you see that case as far as how to insert it, because there are no algorithms for it. Well, there are, but it's mostly intuitive. So I'm just going to go over a few cases that I think like some of you guys may not know more than one way to insert, so you might go by, oh, this case, insert it this way, when you could go, oh, I can do this way or this way. So I'll try to show you the other way that you don't know, but you might already know it. So for the first case, it's very simple. It's more of a tip than it is actually showing you something, but when you have your basic case here, which is RU prime, that's easy. But when it's like this and it's not in the correct position, this corner, this edge piece needs to be here. Some guys might do a U prime cube rotation, hide the corner, move the edge, then insert it. But it's a whole lot faster if you use the U face over cube rotations. So instead of doing a U and then cube rotation to hide the corner, I'm going to do a U, hide the edge, and move the corner. So that's the same case. So instead of doing a U, cube rotation, hiding the corner, moving the edge, I'm going to do a U2, hide the edge, and move the corner. So this will be a basic case, but instead it's over here. So I'm going to hide the edge, move the corner, and then insert. That's a pretty basic tip. A lot of you guys probably already know it, but I see a lot of guys doing excessive cube rotations when they could be doing things as easy as that. So for the next one, it's also pretty simple. Say you have a case like this where the two pieces are stuck together and it's above the slide it goes in. Some guys might do a cube rotation, hide the corner, move the edge, do a U2, hide the corner, slide the edge over to connect them, and then insert it. But I have a little shortcut for that. When the two pieces are stuck together and white is not on top, like it's on the side right here, and the colors on top match. And in these cases that I'm talking about where the corner edges stuck together, you're either going to be using the trigger, RU R prime, or the reverse trigger, U R U prime R prime. Yeah, so trigger or reverse trigger. For this case, you're going to use the trigger, R U R prime U prime, and it's going to set up a very easy case if you're pretty far along in F2L already, where it just takes an R U prime R prime U R U prime R prime to insert. So white's not on top, the pieces are stuck together. Instead of doing a cube rotation, separating it and insert it that way, you just when white's not on top and the colors on top match like it does here, you do trigger R U R prime U prime. Sets up a basic case. If you're not familiar with this case, it's almost like the beginner's tutorial of F2L case, except it's on the bottom and the side instead of just on the top. See, it's a very easy case, but it's on the side and the bottom, just not on the top. So, and I think that's a much faster insert than, say, you see the case here, you can do cube rotation, insert that, or you could do what I just taught you. So I mean, I think that way is faster over the standard way, but it also it depends on where you find the pieces at. Because if I have this case and it's above the side where it needs to go, I'm going to do what I just told you, RU R prime U prime. But say I had it over here, I don't want to do a U and then a cube rotation to just do that insert. When it's over here, I'm going to go ahead and break it up and insert it that way because excuse me. In that particular situation, it was faster. So next case, In the last case, white was on the side. In these next two cases, white is going to be on top. With white on top, the colors on the side are either going to match or be opposite. I'm going to go ahead and tell you the rule of thumb. When the colors are matching, it's going to be reverse trigger. Excuse me. When the colors are matching, it's a reverse trigger. When they're opposite, it's going to be normal trigger. So in this case, a lot of guys might do a U, cube rotation, hide the corner, move the edge, and insert it that way. But when they're stuck together, and the colors are matching, you're gonna do. Really sorry, guys. When they're stuck together and the colors are matching, you're gonna do reverse trigger. U, R, U prime, R prime. It sets up that easy case again. So here it is again. U, R, U prime, R prime. Easy case. R, U prime, R prime, U, R, U prime, R prime. So let's look at it in comparison to the other insertion. Full speed. So you have that versus. Sorry, I messed up. That versus that. So it's obviously faster if you can't tell on fast. If you can't tell on camera, it's faster. But like the last case, it just depends on where you see the case at. If it's above the slot, I'm going to do the insert I showed you. U, R, U prime, R prime, an easy case. If it's not above the slot, like here, or here, or here, anywhere else besides that one spot, I'm going to go ahead and break it up because it's going to be faster than doing the cube rotation and try to do the insert I just showed you. So that's case number 2. And the second case, it's going to be the same as before, except for with white on top, except for the colors are opposite, not matching. In this case, rule of thumb, the last one was reverse trigger, this one's going to be trigger. So just keep that in mind. Colors matching, reverse trigger. Colors opposite, trigger. And when white was on the side, not on top, and the colors were matching, trigger. So you have 2 cases with trigger, 2 cases with reverse trigger. This is the case with the trigger. You're going to do R, U, R prime, U prime. It sets up that same basic case once again. Cube rotation, insert. Now I know that had a cube rotation in it, but because of the moves you're using to insert it, trigger and reverse trigger, they're typically fast moves, so the cube rotation won't be anything compared to how you would normally do it. So So here's that case again. Now most guys would do cube rotation, break it up, and insert it that way. Now that is relatively fast, but it just depends on where you get the case at. If I get the case directly above the slot, I'm not going to do a cube rotation to do that. I'm going to do the insert I just showed you, R, U, R prime, U prime. Easy insert. But if it's not above the slot, I'm going to use it for this angle. Break it up and insert. So it all just depends on where you get these typical cases from. So I'm going to go through a couple walkthrough saws to see if I run into any of those 3 cases I just showed you, or other cases I failed to mention. So I see I have this pair here, and I have this pair here. Both relatively easy, but I know that this pair is going to be in the back, so it's going to be the easiest to insert without messing up these 2. So I'm going to insert that first. Then I see I have these 2 right here, the 2 that I wouldn't mess up, because it actually made it a pretty simple case. Now I see I have these 2, and I have these 2. This case doesn't require cube rotation. Neither this case, but it's kind of a lengthy insert, so I'm going to insert this one first. And I know that I have these 2 in the back right here, and I have blues back here, blues here, so I'm going to insert that. Now there weren't really any advanced cases there, but hopefully I can show you guys at least one in scenario for those 3 cases I just showed you. I see these 2. I saw them as I was looking ahead doing my cross. Oh, here's a case that I didn't talk about, but I think it's pretty important. when the two pieces are pointed up like this and they're opposite, there's two ways to make it a pair: using the trigger or reverse trigger. Now, they're both pretty fast in their own ways, but I prefer reverse trigger over trigger because halfway through it makes it a pair. With the trigger, halfway through it, it gives you that case. This very simple case. But I'd rather have it a pair than have the case. So that's what I was doing. Okay, so I'm gonna insert this. And I wasn't looking ahead just then, but I see these two here. I see these two here. These two here. Well, hang on. I'm going to do one more solve and hopefully get an example of the three cases I showed you in this video. Once again, I didn't get the cases, which they don't come up too often, but when they do come up, having a variation of what is inserted is going to be very important. So I hope the few tips I gave you, once again I'll go over the tips. I hope the tips helped you, but use versus cube rotations. So when you have this case again, and you do cube rotation to insert it, or you could use the U-face to move pieces around. Using the U-face over cube rotation is going to be faster. Then you had this case, which was white down on top. That's going to be using the trigger. And you have this case, when white's on top and they're matching. That's a reverse trigger. And you have this case, white on top, opposite. That's going to be your trigger. So I hope this video helped you guys out. Please comment, rate, and subscribe. If there's any more cases that you want me to go over from like different angles or ways to insert it that I didn't go over in this video, I only covered 3 or 4 cases I think I did. But if there's anything else you want me to cover, just leave it in the comments below. And I hope this helped. Please comment, rate, and subscribe.